Even in their mid-80s and 90s, some people continue living with energy and a bright smile. You might think they follow some kind of special health routine, but that is not actually the case. What they have done is not about adding more into their lives, but about taking certain things away. Around the age of 75, they quietly chose to let go of specific habits. On the other hand, many people who experience declining health or become bedridden often keep pushing themselves the same way they did in their 60s, even after 75. Today, I am going to share 5 things that people who stay strong past 85 quietly stopped doing at the age of 75. This is not about giving up or losing motivation. It is about making smart choices so you can continue walking on your own and living independently for years to come. If you have been trying your best to stay healthy every day, but still feel off or slightly uneasy, then this video is meant for you. Take a moment, grab a warm cup of tea or coffee, and relax as you stay with me until the end. Even letting go of just one of these habits can make your body feel noticeably lighter and bring a sense of calm to your mind. On this channel, we share practical tips to help you live longer and enjoy a healthier daily life. To make sure you do not miss future insights, take a moment to subscribe right now. Before we move into the specific list of 5 things, there is one critical truth about your body that you need to understand first. If you miss this, even the most popular health habits can quietly work against you. The truth is that around age 75, your body requires a fundamental shift in how it operates. Human physiology changes in a significant way at this stage of life. In medical terms, organizations like the National Institute on Aging often distinguish between those aged 65 to 74 and those 75 and older. But this is not just a bureaucratic label. It reflects a real turning point where your body's recovery system begins to function differently. When you were younger, even into your 60s, pushing your body made you stronger. You could exercise until you felt sore and your muscles would grow. You could challenge your mind and your brain would sharpen. In other words, growth came from stress followed by recovery. But after 75, that equation starts to break down. The body's ability to repair itself no longer keeps up with the damage being done. If you continue to push yourself the same way, your body cannot recover fast enough, and instead of getting stronger, it begins to wear down quietly but steadily. I call this wasted effort, where hard work no longer leads to progress. People who stay strong and active well into their 80s understand this shift often without even realizing it. They stop trying to build and start focusing on protecting and maintaining what they have. The 5 habits I am about to share are practical ways to make that transition smoothly. The surprising part is that each of these habits is commonly believed to be good for you, and that is exactly why so many people fall into this trap. Now let's get into the specifics and walk through what you should actually stop doing one step at a time. The first one is something many people misunderstand, and it may be the most dangerous habit of all. People who stay strong and active well past the age of 85 all have one thing in common. They stopped forcing themselves to eat overly light meals. What I mean by that is the kind of diet many believe is healthy in later life, cutting back on meat, focusing mostly on vegetables, avoiding fats and sticking to simple meals like rice soup and pickled sides. If that sounds familiar, I need you to let go of that belief right now. After the age of 75, this kind of restrictive eating is not a health strategy. It is something that slowly drains your body from the inside. The key issue here is something known as age-related malnutrition. As you get older, your digestive system becomes less efficient, and your body absorbs fewer nutrients from the same amount of food. So even if you eat the same portions you did years ago, your body is actually getting less of what it needs. If you continue to eat light meals under these conditions, you will end up severely lacking protein and healthy fats. When protein intake drops, muscle mass begins to decline, a condition known as sarcopenia. As muscle weakens, your legs lose strength, your balance becomes unstable, and your risk of falling increases dramatically. What is even more concerning is that your blood vessels and internal organs are also made largely from protein. A lack of protein can weaken those structures and increase the risk of serious events like strokes. Many people also believe that fat and cholesterol are always harmful, but research from institutions like the National Institute on Aging suggests that in older adults, slightly higher cholesterol levels are often associated with lower mortality rates. Fats are essential because they form cell membranes, support hormone production, and make up about 60% of the brain. When you cut out fats, you may also be cutting off critical nourishment for your brain. Take a look at people in their mid-80s who still walk confidently and live independently. You will notice something surprising: they eat well. They enjoy meals that include things like an 8-ounce steak, grilled fish, or even fried foods a few times a week. They understand that for older adults, the real danger is not gaining a little weight, but becoming too thin and frail. Think of a little extra weight as a reserve that protects you. Starting today, stop forcing yourself to eat only what you think is healthy. Instead, give your body what it is truly asking for, whether that is meat, fish, or nutrient-rich foods you enjoy. Letting go of extreme dietary restriction is the first step to keeping your body fueled and resilient for the years ahead. Now, let's move on to the second habit, and this is one that disciplined, responsible people are especially likely to fall into. It is something you should quietly stop doing, and that is forcing yourself to wake up at the same time every single morning. Maybe you have built a routine of getting up at 6 in the morning, starting your day with light exercise, and staying in bed until a fixed time, even if you wake up during the night. You may have believed for years that waking up early is always the right thing to do. But after the age of 75, that kind of rigid rule can actually begin to harm your body, especially your nervous system. As you age, changes in sleep are completely natural. The production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep, declines, and deep sleep becomes shorter and more fragmented. It becomes common to wake up in the middle of the night or earlier than expected in the morning. And this is not a sign of failure. It is simply how the body changes over time. The real problem begins when your body still needs rest, but you force yourself to get up because the clock says it is time, or when you wake up and cannot fall back asleep, but stay in a dark room struggling because you think you should not get up yet. On top of that, many people begin to stress about their sleep, thinking they did not sleep well enough or woke up too early again. This mental pressure around sleep quietly leads to hidden sleep deprivation and can even contribute to rising blood pressure. People who remain energetic and healthy well into their 80s tend to take a very relaxed approach to sleep, but not in a careless way, in a balanced and intuitive way. They go to sleep when they feel sleepy, and they wake up when their body is ready. If they wake up in the middle of the night and cannot fall back asleep, they do not force it. They may sit up, read a book, or have a warm drink until they feel sleepy again. And if they feel tired during the day, they allow themselves to take a nap without guilt. They have quietly let go of the belief that all sleep must happen in one continuous block at night. As long as the total amount of sleep is enough, the body can still recover effectively. You can think of sleep as something that can be taken in smaller portions rather than all at once. Try letting go of the alarm clock and start listening to your body instead. Many people find that this simple shift removes daytime fatigue and brings a sense of calm back into their life. Instead of forcing a perfectly structured routine, begin to prioritize what actually feels comfortable and natural for your body. The third point is a little more delicate, but it is extremely important and can directly affect your life. This is something you should quietly stop doing, and that is trying to reduce or stop your medication on your own. These days, there is a lot of information online and in magazines claiming that medications are harmful or that doctors overprescribe drugs. People who are health conscious often take these messages seriously and begin to believe that it is better to rely on natural approaches and avoid medication whenever possible. Of course, it is true that unnecessary medications should be avoided, and taking too many prescriptions can sometimes cause problems. However, after the age of 75, making the decision on your own to stop or reduce medications, especially those for blood pressure, blood sugar, or cholesterol, can be extremely dangerous. In my years of experience working with older adults across the United States, the most painful situations I have seen are when someone says they stopped taking their medication because they felt fine only to be rushed to the emergency room with a stroke or a heart attack. As we age, our blood vessels also age. They become stiffer and more fragile. When medications are keeping your blood pressure stable and you suddenly stop them, the resulting fluctuations can place stress on those weakened vessels that they simply cannot handle. And when something happens, it often happens suddenly and without warning. People who stay active and healthy well into their 80s do not see medication as an enemy. They see it as a form of support, like a cane that helps them stay steady. When your legs weaken, you use a cane without shame, and when your internal systems weaken, it is perfectly reasonable to rely on medication. There is nothing embarrassing or harmful about using the tools that modern medicine provides to protect your health. Research supported by institutions like the National Institute on Aging continues to show the importance of properly managed treatment in older adults. If you ever feel unsure about your prescriptions, do not make changes on your own. Instead, talk to your doctor and ask clearly whether each medication is necessary and whether adjustments are possible. A good physician will consider your condition carefully and give you an honest answer. Rather than putting your energy into trying to reduce medications by yourself, focus on finding a doctor you trust and working together with them. That is the smarter move for. The fourth point is about relationships, and this may actually be one of the biggest hidden factors affecting your health. It is something you should quietly stop doing, and that is maintaining relationships out of obligation. Think about it for a moment. Are there people in your life you only stay connected with out of habit, guilt, or fear of being judged? Maybe it is attending family gatherings you do not enjoy, catching up with former co-workers who turn every conversation into a comparison, or staying in touch with neighbors just to avoid feeling left out. In your younger years, having a wide network of connections may have felt like an asset. But after the age of 75, your relationships also need a kind of healthy separation. When you spend time with people who make you feel uncomfortable or drained, your body releases a stress hormone called cortisol. According to research supported by institutions like the National Institute on Aging, elevated cortisol levels can weaken your immune system, increase inflammation, and accelerate the aging process. In simple terms, forcing yourself to be around people who bring you stress is slowly taking a toll on your health. Now take a look at individuals in their mid-80s who always seem calm, happy, and full of life. One thing stands out immediately. Their social circles are surprisingly simple. They only spend time with people they genuinely want to be around. They have made a clear decision to protect their emotional energy. You might worry that others will think you are distant or unfriendly if you start saying no. But at this stage of life, that concern matters far less than your well-being. You can simply say you have been feeling more tired lately and need to take it easy. Most people will understand, and those who do not are not the ones you need to prioritize. Do not be afraid of being alone. There is a big difference between loneliness and peaceful solitude. The quiet time you spend listening to music, enjoying a warm cup of tea, or simply relaxing in your own space can be far more nourishing than forcing yourself into stressful interactions. Do not shorten your life out of obligation. The time you have now is too valuable. Use it for the people who truly matter to you and who genuinely care about you in return. Now we come to the fifth and final point, and this one may touch on your pride. But if you do not let this go, a single moment can completely change the course of your life. This is something you should quietly stop doing, and that is pretending you are still as young as you once were. What does that look like in everyday life? It shows up in small actions like walking down the stairs without holding the handrail, putting on your socks while standing instead of sitting, or trying to carry heavy grocery bags in one trip just to prove you still can. These may seem like minor things, but after the age of 75, the most dangerous accident is a fall. And for older adults, a fall is rarely just a simple injury. It often leads to hospitalization, surgery, and a long period of rehabilitation. During that time, muscle strength can decline rapidly, and cognitive function can also begin to weaken, sometimes leading to a loss of independence that never fully recovers. I have seen many people say, "If only I had not fallen that day." What causes these falls is not just muscle weakness. It is also a gap between what your brain believes your body can do and what your body is actually capable of doing. You may feel like you are lifting your foot about 4 inches, but in reality, it may only be lifting about 2 inches. That small difference is enough to cause you to trip over nothing at all. People who remain active and independent well into their 80s accept the changes in their bodies with honesty and humility. When they see stairs, they reach for the handrail without hesitation. When they put on their shoes, they sit down first. When a traffic light starts to flash, they do not rush to cross. They wait calmly for the next signal. This is not weakness. This is skillful risk management. Using a handrail is not something to be ashamed of. Using a cane is not a sign of defeat. These are tools that protect you and help you stay independent longer. Choosing safety over pride is one of the smartest decisions you can make. Accepting the changes that come with age is not giving up. It is the beginning of learning how to live well in a new and wiser way. So how did that feel to you? Let's take a moment to review the 5 things that people who stay strong past the age of 85 quietly stopped doing at 75. First, stop forcing yourself to eat overly light meals and instead make sure you are getting enough protein and healthy fats to protect your muscles and your brain. Second, stop forcing a fixed wake-up time every morning and allow your sleep to happen in a way that feels natural, even if it comes in smaller segments. Third, stop trying to adjust or reduce your medication on your own and use it wisely as support to protect your blood vessels and overall health. Fourth, stop maintaining relationships out of obligation, because stress is one of the biggest enemies of your immune system, and learn to embrace peaceful, meaningful solitude. Fifth, stop pretending you are still young in your daily actions, and remember that something as simple as using a handrail can protect your life. If you have listened this far, I believe you are someone who has worked hard for many years for your family, your career, and your community. You have carried responsibility, stayed disciplined, and pushed yourself through challenges with strength and determination. That way of living is truly admirable, and you deserve deep respect for it. But now it is enough. You no longer need to push yourself that hard. Life after 75 is not about constant effort and struggle. It is about enjoying your days and truly experiencing the moments that matter. The changes we talked about today do not require money or physical strength. What they require is a small amount of courage and the willingness to say, "It is okay," and to be kinder to yourself. Even letting go of just one of these habits can make your body feel lighter and your mind more at ease. With that lighter feeling, you can spend your time noticing the beauty around you, enjoying good food, or sharing laughter with your grandchildren. Your body knows what it needs better than anyone else. Instead of following rules set by others or expectations from society, choose what feels right for you. That choice is what can lead you toward a strong and healthy future at 90 or even 100 years old. If today's message made your heart feel just a little lighter, that means everything to me. And if you have something you have already let go of, or something you are ready to stop starting today, please share it in the comments. Your story might help someone else who is going through the same struggle. On this channel, we will continue to share practical wisdom to help older adults live longer, healthier, and happier lives without unnecessary strain. If you do not want to miss what comes next, make sure to subscribe and join us for the next video. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, please take care of yourself and enjoy a slow, peaceful day.